I'm so dizzy.
What? Why?
All that spinning, spinning, spinning.
Spinning? How so?
In my grave. I guess.
We brought you back from your grave, President Jefferson, so that we could show you America's accomplishments. And you say you've been spinning in your grave. Is that because of the evil Bush administration?
Ha ha, ha ha ha. You really have no idea, do you? I'll tell you, the last 175 years of American history have had me spinning like a turbine driving a supersonic jet.
What? I don't know what to say. We thought you'd be proud. That period is the greatest in American history. International military supremacy and world domination. The Federal Reserve and the personal income tax. Unification of the country into one nation by the Civil War and by popular election of senators. Public indoctrination, education, globalism, enhancement of the federal police power, social security, the drug war, the war on poverty, economic growth and technological advancement.
Well, finally you got to a couple of things I can praise, but all those developments you mentioned before economic growth were terrible, with nasty impacts on the prosperity and general well-being of the American population. Moreover, your extra-constitutional, illegal, regulatory agencies, with their so-called rules which are nothing but laws in a not very clever verbal disguise, are destroying even the economy and technological development. Those rules are illegal, a violation of the separation of powers written into the Constitution. Only Congress can legally write laws. And worse, the regulatory power is a great opportunity for mischief and corruption. The regulators write and selectively enforce their rules in favor of certain, probably paying, entities at the expense of anything and everything virtuous, most especially the common man and his freedoms.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying, Mr. President Obama, or whatever your name really is. Probably Frank Marshall Davis Jr. What I'm saying is that you preside. Actually you're the chief propagandistic apologist for a growing cesspool of tyranny. I'm saying that my friends who crafted the first 10 amendments to the Constitution did so to put a stop to exactly what you and many others are trying to do. You're trying to keep the masses enslaved, stupid and isolated, with the government as their god instead of anything wholesome. You're keeping them as disarmed as you can keep them, because you frankly are afraid you'll one day finally manage to prompt them to do with the Second Amendment what we had in mind all along, water the tree of liberty with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And you, Mr. President, with your many illegal executive orders, are like a rotten kid with a stick, beating a dog. You're destroying the country by defying the Constitution and oppressing the people.
The Constitution? That piece of paper? I thought you'd be...
You thought I'd be what? Full of shit like you? Say one thing and do another. You thought I was a politician. I am not. I am one of a few who in the 18th century figured out what really was sustainable. A word that you clowns today who think to unify the world bandy about like drunken sailors. You don't even know what it means. I did. Many of my countrymen at the time of the founding did as well. We understood it because we studied and actually grasped history and the dynamics that accompany human nature. And you, with your Harvard degree, you know nothing. Worse, you're a puppet on a string. The very string we cut when we jumped ship from England. You and the country are now pawned by the Bank of England and other transmillennial, transnational, downright disnational tyrants. We kicked them out in the Revolution. Jackson kicked them out again soon after. Risked his life to do it too. Lincoln, evil or not for his tactics and at least flawed strategy, defied them and knew he was at great risk. And then Kennedy. You, Mr. Oath-breaking President, have taken bad ideology, fraudulent statements, bad ethics, and bad tactics to a whole new level, above any and all of your predecessors, with total disregard for the Constitution and all that it attempted to enshrine into law. You've gone along with the banksters at every turn, ruining what was left of the country's freedom-oriented legal and economic structure and turning the entire population into slaves. You.
Tom.
We are not on a first-name basis, Mr. President, Mr. Traitor. You and Congress should be put on trial for presuming authority you do not legitimately hold because it has not been granted to you by the Constitution, and for furthering crimes committed by transmillennial tyrant criminals through transnational and mega corporations, and all out lying your asses off. This applies to almost all presidents and congresses, even John Adams before me. But who will prosecute? No one. Ahem. That tree.
This interview is over.